So the Midvaal Mayor, Bongani Baloyi, won't be running for another term after his term ends later on this year. The young politician made the local municipality a model of clean governance and public service. This is a municipality that was awarded the Golden Arrow Award for doing the most to combat crime, creating jobs and clean up of the environment. So what is next for the young politician? Let's find out. Joining us now is Bongani Baloyi, the mayor of Midvaal. And Bongani, let me start with a quote here from, Tadashi Sabalele, who is an ANC branch executive committee member at Sitsedi Nhlapo branch. September 2020 writes to News 24 and says, quote, "You are a grounded, loyal and tremendously hard-working local government official committed to the realization of economic freedom and the eradication of poverty as we know it. Partisan political moves are less than your style of leadership. Service delivery, groundwork and activism are much more important and take precedence for you above all else." I mean, that's extraordinary to hear an ANC member showering praise like that. The Mail and Guardian also writing about you. So why are you leaving, Bongani Baloyi?
I think because firstly, my term expires at the end of this current term. And secondly, I think I've contributed immensely and been afforded the opportunity to learn and deliver. And I've done that. And I believe that I leave the municipality at the top of its performance. And I leave it in a very healthy situation, financially stable. And it's for others to improve on what we've done and what we've not been able to achieve, to try and achieve those things. So my term has ended, and I believe that I've done the best that I can.
So what are you planning on doing? Because, I saw there was an open letter even that was written to you that was begging you to say, please don't go. Sounds like that song from the early 90s. Please don't go. So what's next?
What's next? I'll probably be a striker for Kaizer Chiefs or Swallows. One of those two options.
Do you think they would improve? Well, Swallows is
absolutely,
doing
well. Absolutely. I think my inclusion in Kaizer Chiefs or Swallows will definitely at least get Kaizer Chiefs to top 8 and Swallows to top 2.
But seriously, are you headed for the private sector? Because, those who believe you've done an exceptional job at Midvaal believe it would be a loss to the public service if you were to go into the private sector.
It's not finalized at this stage. I think, firstly, one must be able to finish the term very strong. So the bulk of my efforts are focused towards finishing on a very high and ensuring that I don't drop the ball towards the finish line. So that's what I must do first, and then immediately after that, take some time out just to refresh and to breathe again, because I think it's quite important for me to assess carefully after that. But firstly, before I can get there, I must finish the term on a high.
But Bongani Baloyi, this is not to say that you got, 10 out of 10, the perfect score. There were areas of challenge, weren't there? I remember those protests at Sicelo Township that flared up, I think around 2016. And went on, and they were quite vociferous and vigorous, people raising their own lived reality of being in a part of your municipality that didn't really get the quality services that they thought they deserved.
Absolutely. We've got a number of our shortcomings, and in our shortcomings, we've attempted to make some improvement on a number of them. And there is progress that will still be made over the next financial years, because it will require multiple financial investment to be able to completely eradicate some of those challenges. I don't discount anyone's lived experience in Midvaal, because I do know as a number one citizen here that in fact Midvaal is one of the most unequal municipalities. You go to one area where you can see visibly the disparity of services compared to the well-off and developed other areas. But what we've tried to do, and we've done successfully well, even though we've not completed, is the amount of investment we've made in townships and disadvantaged areas. More so, those are a direct municipal competence. And the bulk of the criticism we keep getting is around the human settlement housing issue, which is not a municipal competence. But if you look at what is directly municipal competence, you'll see that over the past 8 years, we've made a steady and consistent improvement to improve the lives of our people. There's still a lot to do. And I do so I'm quite honest about our performance. We could have done much better, but we also have the issue of a limitation of the fiscal ability. And at times you must sacrifice between the most important things and the things that others believe are the most important for them. And in my term, we've prioritized a lot of bulk services because our population has grown, and to be able to deliver that quality water, you need to be backed up by the adequate reservoirs with the adequate water pressures, including the substations. So if you look at Inscelo in the name, we've completed the Inscelo reservoir. We're on the process with phase 2 of the substation that delivers electricity to Inscelo and other areas. So ultimately, the electricity to per house or per shack in Inscelo will get there. It may not happen in my term, but I've laid a solid foundation for it to be able to get there.
Lastly, because I'm completely out of time, Bongani Baloyi, one can't help but wonder if your departure has anything to do with the ructions in your political party, the DA. Let's face it, there have been a number of controversies over the last few years, with some suggesting that there's a kind of a purge that's ongoing, and perhaps you are leaving before you have to exit and end up being described as an experiment gone wrong. Just take me into your confidence. The DA, does it remain your political home? Do you still identify with it as a leader, but also as a black leader inside the DA?
I sit here speaking to you as a member of the Democratic Alliance, who was also a mayor of a municipality. And I concede that in the past, and in recent past as well, there's been some clumsiness that's by our party as well, and that one can stop. But that clumsiness does not mean that I must neglect my core responsibility of delivering services to my people. So whatever, for an example, a Tony Leon says or a Helen Zille says, does not affect my ability to deliver services in Inscelo or my inability not to deliver services in Inscelo. That's my direct responsibility as the mayor. So I will continue to do my part. I will compartmentalize these things because they're not linked. In fact, when I, as a position of mayor, it's the incredible responsibility to actually work for my country. Outside of partisanship, outside of political lines, I genuinely get to work with South Africans who love their country, and I've been really fortunate to being able to do that. So for me, the other stuff means nothing to the extent that I must deliver services.
All right, that's a very diplomatic answer, Bongani Baloyi. I'm out of time, and I'm hoping that in future we will get to focus on this particular issue, especially the issues in the Democratic Alliance. That is the mayor of Midvaal, Bongani Baloyi, who was the youngest mayor, by the way, when he took office. I think in 2013, thereabout, he was 26. At the time, and much praise for him. 7 consecutive clean audits from the Auditor General, a ranking in as far as Ratings Africa is concerned that went from top 16 to top 5 of best performing municipalities in the country.